Hey there, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in. This will be Vanguard discussion number 3. So, thank you guys for subscribing. A couple of you have subscribed, feeling the love, and thank you guys for the views.
Yes.
We greatly appreciate it. Again, comments are always welcome. Even if they're, they seem a little negative, just give us some comments. Topic discussions are always welcome. And if you'd like to create a dialogue regarding discussion, my page is free. You can also hit me up via Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Steven's on Facebook.
Yes.
So, we're here. So, regarding this discussion, we are discussing another public service announcement for the qualifiers that are coming up. And this is overall in general as well. Read
your cards.
Thank you. When you sit there and you pay attention to your soul clan, like whatever you play, if you play something, you feel like you know all your card effects and you really don't have to read much on about what the cards are. But there are cases in which you're not very well versed in other people's clans. Now, in these cases, you need to
read your card. Well, read their cards.
Read their cards. Yes. Now, these are some helpful tips regarding, basically, like, the exchange of conversation in a match. If you don't know what the card does, number 1.
Ask them what it does.
Ask them what the card does. Regarding what the card does, first questions you can ask are really simple of the 3. You can say, does it do something when it's placed? Does it do something when it's hit? Or is there a cost to activate effect? Does it have an act skill? Now, in the tournament, you can obviously always just, look at the card itself. But there are some people who feel a type of way and won't let you touch their cards because they're a germaphobe, or they just bought new plastics and they don't want people touching it, or they just have issues, or they're just, being difficult, like a giant, Yeah. So, there are cases where they're just being difficult and they won't allow you to sit there and touch their cards. In these cases, here's another part of our public service announcement. Small little part, but this is mainly only for really like the big tournaments. Call a judge. You honestly can't go wrong with calling a judge. That's what
they're there for.
Yeah.
They're there to make calls, judgments. It's in the name.
Judge. So, regarding them making these judgment calls and these rulings, if you feel that your opponent is being difficult, call a judge over. They can sit there and tell them, listen, you need to let them look at the card, or if not, they can look over their shoulder, read the card aloud to you so that you can get a basic understanding of the card. Now, this doesn't apply to all experienced players, because there are some experienced players out there who know all card effects, who read these cards on a day-to-day basis, and those who also participate in tournaments and have seen all of these,
effects
yeah, there you go. So with you guys, obviously this doesn't really account to you in particular, because you in particular know what everything does. Now, even though you know what everything does, it's still a good thing to read certain cards, like maybe if it surprises you or catches you by shock and you don't really know what it does.
Or it's an older card and you don't remember what it did.
There you go. Then you sit there and you ask, or don't reach over, ask yet again to read it. You can either ask what it does or ask to read it. Those are, the basic qualifications of read
your cards.
Or their cards.
Read the cards.
Read the cards. There we go. The cards. So, regarding reading the cards, always keep in mind specific effects as well, and pay attention to the field when it comes to card effects with a special counterblasts.
Yes. Or special costs.
No, special counterblast. That's what it's called.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about
like dropping cards from your hand.
Dropping cards from hand, or in case of reverses, locking.
Locking specific units. Like, an ode to Jewel Knights. There is Ashley Reverse. She says you gotta lock a Jewel Knight. And then there's
Buster Reverse.
Ethics Buster Reverse.
You need to drop 2 BCDs from hand.
So these are cards with special costs. that they need, to do something. That and Ashley only calls out a Jewel Knight card.
Yes.
And if you're wondering, no, I don't always play Royals. It's not my deck, but I play it. I am a Great Nature player. So I play Great Nature, but my main clan is Dimension Police. So regarding those things, always make sure that you pay attention to the costs, because there are cards that'll say Counterblast, Jewel Knight card, like the new promo, I want to say Sword Me. Because there's another kitty cat that's a Saber Me, and they both start with as
Sword Me, because he's the mate for Vayne.
He's the mate for Vayne. There we go. So Sword Me.
Saber Me is the limit breaker.
G1 limit breaker. So Sword Me says you need to counterblast with Jewel Knight. So if people are playing decks that aren't all Jewel Knight, make sure that when they counterblast, when they place out the Saber Me, that the card that they counterblasted is a Jewel Knight. If not, they cannot pay the cost. And if they do not pay the cost, they cannot call a card. So pay attention to those things. So there's other cards that say counterblast a specific type or counterblast a this. And if they say that and you look in the damage zone, make sure that what they're counterblasting is that card. Or make sure if they're dropping 4 costs, like what Steven said, or if you're locking for costs, make sure it is the appropriate target. If it's not the appropriate target, don't sit there and automatically spaz out, a heart attack and start yelling or getting upset. What you can do is you can either calmly tell them, or if not, just call a judge over. Say, hold on, pause for a minute, call a judge over, and see what the rulings are based on that type of stature. Now, here's another part of this public service announcement regarding reading your cards and regarding tournament play. Try not to be a rude, nasty person. I don't want to sit there and keep cursing. It's kind of bad. So I'm going to try and, reduce my pirate mouth. So regarding that, don't be a giant, don't sit there and try and rule shark people. Don't sit there and be like, oh, well, this guy has bends in his plastics, so he's obviously stacking his cards. Because 9 times out of 10, it happens to everybody, all because you're shuffling their deck.
Exactly. If you don't shuffle someone's deck properly and you just go crazy with it, it's going to cause bends in the corner, most likely.
Yeah, and if you're not being careful and you're not being delicate, it's going to cause bends in the corner, it's going to cause creases, it's going to cause...
Hell, it might even cause separation on the back.
Yeah, and then you're going to sit there and say, oh, well, they're marking their cards, when you probably were the one who caused the mark in the first place. There are, cases, do watch people and do watch their decks and do watch their current rate of luck, because there are certain people who sit there and they do mark their cards. But that doesn't mean that every time a person is getting some supreme god luck and critting you like every turn, doesn't mean that they, mark their cards. It might just mean that they're playing
the luck of the draw.
16 crits. It's bad, but...
You're playing 12 crits, 10 crits.
It could be... This game is, profoundly vast majority luck and a very moderate amount of skill. Now that they've added all these new mechanics. There's another mechanic and another mechanic and another mechanic. So, but anyway, back to the public service announcement. Again, please read your cards. Please read your opponent's cards. Make sure everything is of, consequence and everything is of cost. And, again, I'm Nick.
And I'm Steve.
And we'll see you on our next discussion.
Peace.